All right. Yes, we're live. All right. So before I get into all these messages, all this lovely, juicy, beautiful information, I want to start this session with a little song that has been replaying in my mind over and over and over again this past month. And then I'll tell you about it. I'll tell you why it has been circling in my vortex. So if you know it, great, sing along. It's only going to be like one paragraph, but yes. When I listen to the voice in my womb, I hear a beauty prayer, a beauty prayer. When I listen to the voice in my womb, I hear a beauty prayer, a beauty prayer. Says, child, stay calm, stay open. You are protected and connected to this love, this song, this wisdom. It's always there. And, I think this song is called Voice of My Womb by Maria Stark. I love her. Bestie for life. And yeah, this song has been circling in my vortex, and I've just been singing that part over and over and over again. And of course, I understand the meaning of the song itself, but I didn't really understand why it was here in my world until I actually talked to a friend of mine yesterday. And it kind of broke open the understanding for me. So I called my friend Dazzy yesterday, just like got a real intuitive hit that it was time to call her. So I called her and she answered, and I was like, yes, so happy, because we have been in our own personal journeys, and honestly, communication has been real slim for just, everybody. So it's just nice to connect. Anyways, I'm just yapping. But yeah, we were talking and just, catching each other up on life and everything. And she had mentioned that she didn't have a period for 47 days and she just recently got her period. And I was like, whoa, run it back, because I have also, missed my period. My last period was on the 24th of May. And here we are, the 26th of June, and my period still has not came. And I was like freaking out, because my cycles are pretty normal. And to not have a period was very concerning. And mind you, I've been celibate for a couple years. So I knew pregnancy was not a thing. And I was just like, okay, what the heck is happening? And, as we were talking about this, we were just talking about all the things that were happening and changing and transforming, and the fact that, we were just going through rebirths, and, so many changes were happening, which led to, the missing of our periods, because we, again, we're just going through a phase and a cycle of transformation. And after that phone call, I was just sitting, to myself, and I'm just like, I need this information and this knowledge to be a little bit more specific. I need to know why, um, you know, I am missing my period. And of course, I understand that I'm going through, like, this transformation, but I just felt like I needed more. So I sat with it. I sat with this information and I did a little research. And what I found, was just so beautiful. And everything that I researched, and, you know, in conjunction with my own personal downloads and intuition and whatnot, it was what I received was that this is a kundalini awakening. So going back to that song, when I listen to the voice of my womb, I hear a beauty prayer. So many of you guys who are probably going to tune into this video are experiencing a deep, deep transformation, okay? Almost like quantum leaping, you're just stepping into a new era, a new cycle of life. And if you listen to your womb, and especially for those who are, who have missed their periods, you will understand that a beauty prayer is being answered in this time, right? You have asked for, newness, and you are receiving that. You're going through that. You're going through the changes. You're becoming more powerful. Everything around you is becoming more powerful. You're becoming more enlightened than, just that trail of goodness. But I want to talk a little bit more about the kundalini so that you guys could understand a little bit more of what you may be experiencing, and how it correlates to all the changes that are happening in your life right now. Okay. Um, and I just want to know really quick, I am still a little bit nervous, speaking. I'm doing this live just to really help with my perfectionism and whatnot, and just, showing up. So I'm a little nervous. And if I jump around a little bit, just stay with me, okay? So when we're talking about the Kundalini is like a coiled up serpent that lies at the base of our spine, and it moves upward, right, through all the different energy points and chakras in our bodies. And when it does that, it triggers, transformation, it triggers insight, it triggers healing, and it triggers, that ultimate spiritual awakening. Okay. And when this kundalini is moving upwards, right? And we are going through the spiritual awakening, the healing, the transformation, and the insights, and all that good stuff. Some things that we could experience, okay, could be extreme fatigue, okay? Like you are so tired, and the only thing that you can do in that moment is just rest. Like I'm talking about bedrock to the max, but for good reasons, you know what I'm saying? Because it's just so many energy is being used, and you have no other choice but to rest. So if you are experiencing extreme fatigue, it's okay. It's part of the process. Trust. Okay. Tap into that voice of your womb. And on the same note, you could also experience, burst of energy, random bursts of energy, because of that energy moving through all the different points and doing its thing, right? Another thing that you could experience is changes in your sleeping pattern. So maybe you're sleeping at different times of the day or waking up at different times of the night, and everything is just like all jacked up. Um, that is another thing. And I feel like I have to say, usually when you're having these little bursts of energy between being super energetic and being tired, or waking up in the middle of the night or whatever, be aware of downloads that may come through in those moments, okay? Especially those 3 a.m. moments. If you know, you know. Um, Another thing could be digestive issues. You could be having digestive issues, and you may have like some food aversions, like you maybe not feeling like your favorite food like you used to. Again, that's a part of this process. Body aches. I know for me, my lower back, my root chakra has been just on fire. So I've been moving it a lot and stretching it a lot, trying to, assist that energy that's moving upwards. And then another thing could be not having a menstrual cycle, right? Losing your menstrual cycle for a month or so. And this is because the Kundalini, it influences the nervous and the endocrine system, right? Because it uses those channels to regulate consciousness, right? So just for you to understand that. So I'm gonna pick up my notebook because I don't want to lose track. um, so yes, if you're experiencing that, if you're experiencing like the extreme fatigue and like energy bursts here and there, digestive issues, a little bit of food aversions, changes in your sleep patterns, body aches, and again, the menstrual cycle, being missing, you know that you are going through an awakening. Of course, and of course, and of course, if you understand the changes that are happening in your life, just all this information should just be confirmation for the journey you're experiencing at this time. Okay, so why does the periods stop? Why do periods stop when you're going through a kundalini awakening? This is because the energy is moving upwards, it's shooting upwards. So it's taking focus away from the reproduction system, and it's focusing on energy that needs to be brought up, cleared, healed, and cleared. So, when we're going through such an intense transformation and awakening, sometimes our body can mistake that for extreme stress. Okay. And in those cases, it will reserve energy, you know, in certain places. So it could be energy can be used in other places where it's greatly needed at this time. And that is another reason why your menstrual cycle can stop, because your body's trying to conserve energy while energy is being activated in other parts of the body, mind, spirit, da 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 da, and it just is trying to protect itself. um, and let's see. So hormonal shifts, yes, yes. So since the Kundalini rising affects the pituitary gland and the pineal gland in the brain, this can also stop ovulation or menstruation. Again, the processes of using the endocrine, nervous, pituitary, pineal gland, like all this different energy moving through these channels, it could possibly stop your cycle. Okay. And another thing is because you're going through such deep purification. Okay. And due to this emotional and physical detoxing, this can cause imbalances because, again, everything in your body is being moved around, brought up, and it could be crazy. It could be a lot. And like I said, your body wants to conserve energy in the best way. So it may slow down on some things so other things can be like amped up. But I want to say I'm not a doctor. Okay, I'm not a doctor. This is not a medical diagnosis, prognosis, whatever that is. I'm just speaking from a spiritual perspective, because just as much as we are 3D beings, we are also spiritual beings, and we go by rules that are beyond the 3D world. Okay, so yes, things can also be spiritual manifestations of spiritual things and transformations. Okay, so I think with that being said, continue to trust the journey. Continue to always check in with your womb. Okay, stay calm. Wait, stay open. Okay, stay calm. Stay open. You're protected. You're connected to this love. Okay, to this song, to the wisdom of the earth. To the universe, to yourself, and just know that as this energy is coming up to be healed and dealt with, this energy will also move back down for integration process. And then everything, will start to move normal again. Sleeping patterns go back to normal. Maybe, or I wouldn't say normal, maybe, you've integrated some changes throughout this process, but, maybe if you were the type of person to wake up at 10, 11, you might be the type of person to wake up at 6 a.m. now. You know what I'm saying? But things go back to how they need to be. Your period will come back. If it doesn't, you should probably go to the doctor. But yes, the integration process will happen. Things will begin to function normally again. And then by the time you know it, I don't know if that's the right way to say that saying, but by the time you know it, that sounds so weird. Next thing you know, you will be in a whole different era of your life. You will have leveled up. You know what I'm saying? Mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically. So many things have changed. You have shifted. You have evolved. So just keep your eye on the bigger picture from a higher perspective, right? And know that all of these different symptoms are a part of a bigger picture of what's happening internally, right? Um, just trust the process, okay? Love on your womb right now. Eat lots of fruits, vegetables. Um, I'm seeing pomegranates, iron with iron-rich foods, greens, just doing some womb exercises, some womb breathing, and just really honoring yourself right now. I think that's really important, honoring yourself, honoring your journey. Um, and yeah, so that's what I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Um, Again, if you missed your period, it might be spiritual. It might be because you're leveling up, you're evolving, things are changing. Allow it to. Sending you guys so much love, so many blessings. Thank you for allowing me to be the vessel to share this information with you. And I will see you in the next video. Ciao.